Good morning, children. Welcome to the social science class. Today we are going to see Unit 2 in economics, globalization and trade. So, what is meant by globalization? It is the integration of a country with the world economy. So, we are living in a particular country, right? So, integration to the joining with the world economy is called globalization, which means it is a process by which businesses or other organizations develop a international influence. So, we are going to see about the globalization and trade. Okay, we'll see in the history of globalization. The term globalization was introduced by Theodore Levitt. The historical background of globalization can be discussed in three stages. Okay, so we can divide it by three stages: archaic globalization, proto-globalization, modern globalization. So first we'll see about the archaic globalization. Archaic means very old-fashioned. So the first globalization, where it is started. An early form of globalization in the trade link between the Roman Empire, Parthian Empire and the Han Dynasty made the commercial links between these powers inspired the development of the Silk Road. So here it is getting started, the trade. Okay, it was between the Roman Empire, Parthian Empire and the Han Dynasty. So in very many years ago itself they started to trade with other countries also. Even in India also we used to trade with other countries, right? We used to import and export, right? So this is the very first time that globalization has been started. The Islamic age was also an important early stage of globalization. So the Islamic age, it is also an important stage for the globalization. The advent of the Mongol Empire through destabilizing to the commercial centers of the Middle East and China greatly facilitated travel along the Silk Road. So during the Mongol period, ruling period and all, the globalization has been started. It is between the Middle East and the China. Now we'll see about the proto-globalization. The next phase is known as proto-globalization. So proto in the sense early as well as old, modern. So proto-globalization. The next phase is known as proto-globalization. It was characterized by the rise of European empires in the 16th and 17th century. First the Portuguese and Spanish empires and the Dutch and the British empires. So the rise of all these empires started the globalization. Okay, proto-globalization. The next one is modern globalization. In the 19th century witnessed the advent of globalization approaching in modern form. So now only it's getting started in the modern form. Between the globalization in the 19th and the 20th century there was a significant differences. So some changes were occurring. There are two main points. One is the global trade in the centuries as well as the capital investment and the economy, and another one is the global trade in the 20th century shows a higher share of trade in merchant production, a growth of the trade in services and the rise of production and trade of multinational firms. So two main points was there. So the one is the one is global trade. So the trade is occurring throughout the world, globally is occurring. So for many years only 2 or 3 countries were doing some trade through sea routes and all, but now it started to occur globally. All over the world it's happening, right? So the it shows a higher share of trade in the merchant production also. This is the second point. Okay, now we'll see about the challenges of globalization. The benefits of globalization extend to all countries. That will not happen automatically. So it will not happen all of a sudden, right? It need many efforts. So it started slowly, it started gradually increasing, right? So it need many efforts. The fear that globalization leads to instability in the developing world. So sometimes it will not, the economy will not be stable, right? Sometimes it would be shaky. It leads to global imbalance. So in globally I mean, worldwide will not have the same economy for all the time, right? So imbalance will be occurring. Globalization has led to increase in activities such as child labor and slavery. So sometimes it will lead for the child labor and slavery also. Globalization has led to environmental degradation also. So people started consuming more junk food. This caused the degradation of health and spread of diseases. So globalization, we are following Western cultures and all, right? I mean, their food styles and all we are following, which is not suitable for our atmosphere, our place, right, for our health and all. So because of consuming more junk food, our health is also spoiled. So these are the challenges of globalization. Okay, now we'll see about multinational corporation, MNC. Have you all heard about this, children? MNC companies, multinational corporation companies. Multinational corporation is a corporate organization which owns or controls production of goods or services in at least one country other than its home country. So it is an organization which will be controlling the production of goods and services, but not in its own country but in some other country. Like the East India Company, which came to India as a trading company and then it's net throughout the country to become politically dominant. These multinationals first started their activities in extractive industries or controlled raw materials in the host countries during 1920s and then slowly entered. So like the East India Company, initially they came for trade, right? Later they started to dominate us, they started to rule us. So like this only they came first, start their activities to start industries and control raw materials, and later they slowly entered and captured all the places. Most of the MNCs at present belong to the 4 major exporting countries, that is USA, UK, France and Germany. So these are the countries are very good in MNCs. Okay, among that America is considered to be the very largest one. So some top 10 multinational companies in India are Sony Corporation. So Sony, we are using many electronic items in Sony, right? Very costly as well as very quality product. Sony Corporation, HP, Hewlett Packard, Tata Groups, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Products, many trucks, lorries we used to see, Tata Docomo. So we have Tata Groups, Microsoft Corporation, IBM, so it is in Coca-Cola company, Nettle, City Group, Pepsi company, Coca-Cola company. So these are the top 10 multinational companies in India around the year 2018. So we have many advantages of this MNC also. So it will be producing the same quality of goods at lower cost. So for very low cost it will produce the quality goods. Also MNC will reduce the prices. It is able to take advantage of the tax variation also. It will be encouraging job growth for the local economies, but at the same time it has some disadvantages also. Because of the introduction of MNCs, many smaller and local business have been fall down. So we have some disadvantages also due to this multinational corporation. Now we'll see about World Trade Organization, WTO. So it is located in Geneva, Switzerland. There the headquarters is located. The purpose of this World Trade Organization is to regulation the international trade. Members of this WTO are Director General, 4 Deputy Director General and other 600 official staff from around 80 member countries. So these are the members. We'll see the objectives of the World Trade Organization. The main objective is to set and enforce rules for the international trade. So we are doing many trade, right? Trade for many trade purposes. Many things are done, right? We are exporting, importing. So it has set some rules to provide a meeting for discussing and monitoring further trade liberalization. So they'll set a meeting and they will discuss about further trade things and all, to resolve trade disputes, which means arguments. because we'll import some pulses or grains from some other country, means for at the same rate we have to export something for them, right? So there'll be some arguments in the quality also. So to solve all this WTO is set up to ensure the developing countries secure a better share of growth in world trade. So they should make sure that there must be a better share of the growth in the world trade, to increase the transparency of decision making process. So the whatever the decision they make, that must be transparent to everyone, that must be seen to everyone, it must be clear, to ensure full employment and broad increase in the effective demand. So employment must also be fulfilled, the need of development employment must be fulfilled. So these are the objectives of WTO. So in this chapter we have seen, children, about the globalization, the 3 stages of globalization, that is archaic globalization, proto globalization, modern globalization, and about MNC companies, its startup, and about the WTO, World Trade Organization. So I hope this would have understood by you children. Thank you.